Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Thank you for being here, one and all, whether this is the first time you've ever clicked onto a video or whether you are returning. Today we have a wonderful reading for you, an activation reading, all surrounding the energy of the Lionsgate portal, which of course is coming in the 8th of the 8th. Happens every year, the 8th of August, and this year we have a huge vavum going on too, because it's happening. The 8th will be on the new moon in Leo, so this is an incredible sort of boost in activation. So much can happen around this time. So we will be getting you some answers and finding out what activations, what beauty, what magic is coming in for you. Before we get into our beautiful predictions here, I just want to remind everybody that the Unicorn Light podcast, the entire first season, is up and ready for each and every one of you. The last episode was just uploaded a couple weeks ago, and it's called The Art of Healing. If you're interested in any kind of support, any kind of beauty to do with healing and manifestations, tips, tricks, beautiful stuff that you won't hear anywhere else, feel free to check it out. I will be putting the link down below. The Unicorn School of Light, that's another one. The Unicorn Light podcast, there to support you in every part of your healing, and that's the entire first season, all organized for you in this healing journey. There might be a second season, or I might be doing a paranormal podcast. I haven't decided yet, but the first season is complete. So here we have 3 beautiful piles as usual. Pile 1, 2, and 3. We're back to the Lionsgate portal. So just want you to concentrate on the energy, and any way that you choose your piles as your own personal private business. So the first pile is this image. So I'm going to give you that and get around in and around this image. If this image is screaming to you in some way, or the energy of the pile is screaming to you, then pile 1 might be yours. And then this is the image for pile 2. And the image for pile 3. Now, very, very quick disclaimer. Take what resonates. Do not worry about what doesn't resonate. If one pile doesn't resonate, feel free to choose another pile. If that doesn't resonate, none of them resonate, maybe the messages aren't for you today, but feel free to check back or go back and go into any of the older videos. The more aligned and tuned you are with your own energy, the more you will be attuned to these readings, because these are, of course, collective readings. So let's get right into your 8-8 Lionsgate portal reading and find out what beauty is in store for you. So we're going to put aside pile 2 and pile 3 for now, but that's okay. We will check back with you, of course. So if you chose pile 1, then this is your reading. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to reveal to you what your image states. So it says, let go of the anxieties of others. So that is your first clue, or your first reading, as it were. So we're going to put that aside for you and see how that correlates. It may or may not correlate in a way with your reading. We'll see what comes up for you. We're going to start off with Oracle and then move on to Tarot a little later. So let's see what magic's coming in for you, pile 1. So you've got Reflection is your first card. Let's get that in focus there. And then you've got Solar, number 5, a safe and happy home. Incredible. And then you have Temple of the Rose, ancient power, expression, activation, scarlet codes. This is beautiful. And then you have you and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. That's beautiful. And then you have Passion. Look at this. This is incredible. All right, so pile 1, messages coming in for you. The first thing that's coming up is this energy of passion that you've had in and around you. Now, this energy it's not been stagnant in any way, pile one, but it's gone off in different directions. Sometimes it can sort of manifest as anger. Sometimes it can manifest as frustration. Now, bear with us. I know that sounds a little strange, right? How can passion be anger? How can it be this, that, and the other? And the reason being is that sometimes your passion gets blocked because you doubt yourself. It's very, very specific. When it comes up, you've got this passion, you're going with it. And then this little voice comes in and says, yeah, but this didn't happen before. Or is this really going to happen? Your practical mind. Now, there's nothing wrong with the ego. There's nothing wrong with the practical mind. For a lot of you, it saved your life, right? In many different situations, it protected you, and we need it. We absolutely do. And you're making friends with your practical mind. You're making friends with your ego, and that's wonderful. But that's not what this reading is about. This is about releasing a long lost sort of blockage, as it were. Moving in with this passion, and then of course these other energies come in that are all from you that sort of block it. And then what happens with this passion as it's blocked? It comes in as frustration. Things aren't moving for me. Because the energy is still there. It's just sort of manifested in a slightly different way in the blockage, right? So it's not going off the way in which it's not firing on all cylinders. Now, what's happening for you with this Lion's Gate? And again, this portal. Again, this has been happening for you. This is something that you've been moving through anyway, working through your own energy, honoring your own emotionality, because this is where you're at. You've been in reflective mode for a while, so this is not brand new for you, but the way in which you release, you see, you're very systematic about how you do things. You're very conscious of your energy. You can talk yourself out of things. You've got an incredibly strong mind. Anything you put your mind to, you can do and you can have. And for some of you, that's been a bit of a problem because it's, you've decided that you've wanted something and decided later on that you didn't want it. But again, that's not really a big deal. This has been for you about building a very, very safe foundation from which you can move in any direction, which means that you've been working on first chakra issues, right? You've been really pulling back the veil to see why it is you feel as though, because this is all about not feeling as though this is really, when it comes down to it, it's a self-worth issue, really. If we're getting to the crux of the problem, it's a self-worth issue. It's all about you looking at the world and saying, well, if I was worth something, then this would have happened, or this would have happened, and this would have happened. And again, your practical mind is looking for proof. But recently you've thrown all that out and you've realized the way in which you blocked your own passion. Now, this is huge because your passion has always been there. So once you release the blockage, then you can see all of that frustration and the way in which you've held yourself back. Now, again, this is not about you in any way flogging yourself or, I can't believe I did this. Don't you dare go down that road, Paul 1, right? Because you can do that. This is not for you to be very, very clear. This is not a pity party for you. We're just being really, really honest about this. Not that you get into that and you deserve to feel sorry for yourself, but get over it after that, right? No, that doesn't sound right either. Honor exactly where you are, but at the same time, you do want different results. So you are coming into this and saying, this is what we're doing. We are doing this differently. So you're really monitoring your passion and how it's going and what it's doing. And you're noticing the blockages, which means that the energy space that you have, this is all about your heart chakra, right? You've been working on the first chakra. This is all about your heart chakra coming into that beautiful energy. And there's something that's releasing in that. And it's sort of like the rose energy. It's blossoming and it's really going to become finite when it comes into this new moon energy. So the first thing that we can give you as an advice is to honor exactly where you are and to be very open about how you move forward. It's not about looking for the external and saying, all right, this is happening for me. Not yet. That will be happening for you soon. Looking to the external and going, oh, well, this isn't really happening the way that it should. So maybe my energy isn't that. That's not a great way to monitor your energy right now. Just let it all be, because as you're opening up, there's going to be fits and starts about your energy, and it's not exactly flowing completely yet, but you're so close. So for you to say, all right, things are happening, but not quite the way that I want it, and and shutting yourself down a little bit. No, it's almost like starting up an engine again. The engine hasn't been moving for a while, but you are absolutely moving this forward. So as you turn over the engine, you just have to get back out on the road again. That's all it is. So don't worry about the external and what's happening for you, because as you move forward, beautiful things will start happening, and then you will be able to say, oh, my energy is flowing. This is great. But don't start doing that initially. The main thing for you to focus on, and you've been in this reflective state anyway, is to really honor how far you've come and how much you've done with this first chakra, and really honor this beautiful place that you've gotten yourself to. You're a lot more stable, your emotionality is there, you're really getting to the point where you really understand the difference between your energy and somebody else's energy. Not only that, but you understand the energy of the old you and where you are now, how you reacted to things in the past. You can really understand and really go back into your triggers. If anything triggers you, you really do see it. All right, what can I work on now? And whereas before, when you were overwhelmed, some of it would have been like, oh, what now? Now you're like, okay, what now? This is wonderful. Let's move forward. There's a real activation for you. There's a way for you to utilize your passion in a really beautiful way. But don't try and see where it's going to go right now. Open it all up to many different possibilities. That's going to be the best thing for you to do in this portal, because there's so many opportunities coming in for you. And what you may have placed for yourself may not be enough. Right? So if you settle for something right now, a little bit later down the road, you might be thinking, I kind of boxed myself in. So just really honor where you are, and moving through all this energy that you've done with your first chakra. You've really secured a place for yourself with your emotionality. And again, as we said at the beginning of this reading, Pile 1, the way in which you speak to yourself was always quite harsh. You're getting better at that. We want you to honor all of that too. Nothing needs to be perfect for you to give yourself a pat on the back. Do it now. But this energy of passion is coming in for you, and it's an incredible energy. Let's get some more energy for you. The first thing we picked up here is the Ace of Pentacles. Something big is coming in for you at this time, and you're absolutely worthy of it. And it's really, but it's something that how do we say it? It's something that you've wanted, but you don't know that you want it yet, right? That's the only way. That's the message that we keep getting. It's definitely something that you've wanted, but you're not really aware of what that is yet. So everything that you've thought you've wanted, it's not even going to touch on that yet. And there's an essence of expression that's coming in for you that's pure and that's natural to you. You're really you're speaking from your heart in a way that's absolutely beautiful, and people are listening. You've built this really secure place for yourself where you really are starting to understand how powerful you are and how much passion you have. Now, as an original alchemist, you've got a lot of this beautiful traits coming in, an ancient, very, very old souls. Again, you already know this. So the way in which you use your passion is going to be integral in this lifetime. And as we've said before, it's always been blocked a little bit. Sometimes actually by the universe, not the universe, but people around you, because of the energy that's been heavy around you. But you've also blocked your own passion too, because for some of you, this may not be a message for all of you, but for some of you, there's an innate sort of fear of success, and it's not because of failing. You're used to doing whatever you need to do and getting the F up right afterwards, right? You're absolute survivor. It's the responsibility of it. What's it going to look like? Because there's a freedom aspect to you. And, success comes with responsibility. Now, when you've decided on something, you're very responsible. We're not suggesting that you're not. But it can be very difficult for you to choose what it is that you want, because you're very good at many different things. So that's the whole idea of not choosing one thing right now, because there's a way that you can bring it all in together. Again, the universe is going to supply you with so many different ways that you may not have been able to think of yourself. So whatever it is that you think you want, it's just the beginning of what is coming in for you. But there is something that's being activated that will come in for you, and you're not going to expect it. Don't worry, it's going to be good. You're not going to expect it. But it's going to be one of those things where it's like, I can't believe I didn't ask for it. It's so obvious. This is so brilliant. I can't wait for this, and it's going to be different for each and every one of you. But again, it's all going to be on the back of your passion and really leaning into that heart chakra and allowing it to be open. Now, there's no point in prying it open. There's a lot of stuff that's happened to you, Pile One, and that's why we're giving you so much love and beauty for you right now, surrounding you with that energy. There's been so much that's happened to you, so you can't pry it open. It's all incremental. And this has happened from past lives too, and all the work that you've done also in your own bloodline. So, and some of you have been incarnated into a bloodline. Sorry, one of the neighborhood dogs is going a little bit nuts right now. So he's passionate, right? So some of you have incarnated into different bloodlines because you did have that power to be able to cleanse that bloodline. So the people that you've come in with weren't necessarily part of your actual bloodline, if that makes sense. So, and that's how much power you have. So for some of you, you always felt out of sort of line with family members, or growing up didn't feel quite like you fit in. And it's a little bit more than, I'm a little bit different. It's a little bit more than that. And that's because of the bloodline that you chose to come in. Some of you have chosen to come in and cleanse really, really hectic bloodlines that you didn't have much to do with beforehand, but you knew that you could do that. And doing that changes the collective energy, right? So there's many different missions that each and every one of you are on. But this is all collectively coming in for you. That's part of the expression. That's part of the activation. You have this incredible amount of beauty in and around you. So this energy is coming in for you too, with the Knight of Swords. So this portal is definitely bringing you something. It's solidifying all of the energy that you've been doing. Yeah, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. So there's a payoff element here with your passion. Now, some of you, it's been very difficult for you because it's, you've been waiting patiently for something. And at the same time, for some of you, you've not been sure of what you're waiting for, which is totally understandable. So there's a clarity aspect that's coming into it. It's going to be revealed to you. And again, each and every one of you will be slightly different. But each and every one, it might be something completely off the bat that you didn't think that you needed or wanted. But again, when it's delivered, you'll be like, of course, why didn't I think of this? It will be so obvious to you. But it's whatever's coming in for you, it's pure and it's beautiful. And so far, it's not been tainted by these energies of, you won't be able to keep it, or you're not good enough for it. This is energy that you're moving through now, and you're reaching this sort of plateau in how you use your passion. You have an incredible amount of passion, and that actually, when it's channeled, which is what you're working on now, the sense of determination that you have, there's nothing, and we mean nothing, that you cannot achieve. And in the past, when somebody said to you, we don't think you can do it, you've gone out of your way to prove it to people because you know that you can. Now, you know that. As you've grown older, not necessarily, obviously wiser, but however you handle things before doesn't mean that you weren't wise then. But sometimes, when you're feeling that, all right, well, I could do this, but I don't need to prove myself to anybody. So, that's that's a habit that you've fallen out of. But in the past, whatever you've decided to go for, just to prove it to yourself or somebody else, you've been able to do. And then, of course, when you've gotten it, you've realized that, well, the payoff is nice, but that's not really what I wanted. It was in the art of proving to yourself that you could do it, not to gain the rewards at the end. But here you are, with these rewards coming in, and they're going to be absolutely beautiful. It is something that you have been waiting for. But at the same time, it's a divine timing element. So in order to bring it in quicker, these are the practical ways we would suggest. Again, to reiterate, stay very grounded in that first chakra energy. Clear anything that's coming up for you that's combative with this passion. When your passion comes up, allow it just to sort of seep out, come out wherever it needs to. Don't try and direct it in any way right now. It's going to be sort of a 360. Let it go anywhere that it wants. At the same time, knowing that It's connected to your heart chakra. So do what you can. Be as comfortable as you can doing this. Don't force in any way. You don't need to do this. Pry your heart chakra open, but allow yourself to really go within and connect with your heart chakra at this time, knowing that it's safe to do this because you've been working on the first chakra, knowing that you are safe. The universe does have your back. This is something that you've been working on in your reflective mode. You've been working on that first chakra issue, knowing that when you connect it to your passion, you would need that first chakra absolutely cemented in form, so you could really allow yourself to open up your heart chakra. A lot of you have closed the heart chakra in some kind of heartbreak. Now, this is not like, oh, he didn't like me, or she didn't like me, or they didn't like me. This goes deep. Whatever heartbreak you had, you shut down your heart. This has not been easy for you, but this is something that's been activated within you. It's also the key to your success, without a shadow of a doubt. This is being activated. It already has been. When it comes into the 8 of 8, of this month coming in, the portal on the 8th, which is the Lionsgate portal, you've already started experiencing all of this energy in and around you already, and you will do after the 8th, a whole week afterwards, because it's going to culminate with the new moon. So there's energy coming in. So that's another reason, if you're watching this right before the new moon, not to necessarily force anything. Let everything be, but be very, very conscious of your passion and allowing it just to go out and really flow in the way that it wants to. Also, congratulate yourself on everything that you've achieved, whether you can see it in the external world or not. Even small things, congratulate yourself on, because you've had the odds against you of much of your life, and you've still risen up every single time and has stayed in the game. And this is absolutely an incredible trait that you had, and that you have moving forward. And whatever it is that, and you've had this patience, it feels as though you're always being told something's on the horizon, everything's going to happen, but you've had this patience. You've stayed within this time frame and understood that it will happen when it happens, and the divine timing is coming to you. You will be able to sort of unwrap that gift, whatever it is, however it comes to you. So this is what we have for you, beautiful Pawan. So much going on. It was a little bit sort of, sort of a little bit more sort of insular, psychological, but do take your energy within and stay with the first chakra, really congratulating yourself on that. Stay with the heart chakra and continue to open that up, and working with the energy of passion and not shutting that down in any way. And then you'll start to see the flow that comes in every area of your life. It's going to be important. This is an important time for you, because this portal, as it opens up, again, sort of a new way to be in the world. So that may shift everything that you thought you wanted. Again, we've touched on that. So stay true to you, stay true to you, remain grounded, and have some fun, have some joy. Sometimes you take things very, very seriously, and that's fun. This has been serious work, but enlighten up, as we like to say on Unicorn Light Tarot, and just allow this joy and lightness. Really play with that inner child energy as you work with this passion that's going to help you open up your heart too. We're sending you so much love, support, and beauty for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Please go be you and only you. Until we meet again, do not forget to check out the Unicorn Light podcast. There are so many. Again, the full season, first season is completed. Even if you just pick and choose which ones you want to listen to, we promise you there'll be some support for you. And again, until we meet again, take care, Pawan. Bye-bye. Okay, beautiful Pile 2s. If you chose this image, then this is your first message. And again, we're doing what magic is coming in for you, what activations are coming in for you on the Lionsgate portal, which will be the 8th of the 8th, the 8th of August coming in for you. Your first message is, I explore my wildness and dance and pleasure. That's incredible. That's a great way to start, right? Let's put this aside. We're going to start with your oracle and then move on to tarot. Your first card is protection. Beautiful. Absolutely protected without a shadow of a doubt. Take time to breathe out. That's lovely. And then you have rapture. sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. Loving this. And that goes with I explore my wildness and dance in pleasure. That's great. And then you've got flowerful, number 7, sweet and gentle power. And then you have creativity. Ooh, I love this. So there's an energy of coming back to you, pal, too, which is, it's been a while. It's been a while. There's been some heaviness around you, pal, too, trying to figure things out. It's... You have this energy where in the past, a lot of you have tried to fix other people or try to fix situations. Now, this may not be for every single one of you, but some of you like to keep yourself busy because you purposely don't give yourself enough time to be who you are. It's almost like, busy equals productive. Now, you're aware of this aspect of your personality and you're shifting that now because you need more energy for yourself. It comes back to you connecting to the deep love of who you are and also honoring an energy of who you are. Now, this is a little bit of a sensitive topic, but a lot of you have found it difficult to really sort of stay in your own body. Now, what do we mean about this? Not always very grounded, earthy, certainly. You're probably the earthiest people ever. And when it comes to advice, everybody wants to come in and around you because you're brilliant at seeing things. So, you have this sort of clarity of vision. You're seers in many ways, and also what we love about you also, when people come to you with energy, you see exactly what's going on with the energy. You're not going to... knowing that energy moves and shifts and changes so completely. You're never the sort of person that says there's only one way to do things or this is just the way, this is the one truth. You deal with the truth that's in front of you and you're very cognizant of that fact. So your life is ever shifting. And your energy is always shifting. And that's been wonderful. Because, in some ways never a dull moment, but at the same time, there's always been a dull moment because it's shifting so much that you haven't really been able, your energy's not been able to grab onto something and make it your own. Part of this is because there's an energy that's still around you that feels as though, and this is deep-rooted energy that has come in from past lives. It's also come in and been cemented in some ways, but you've been breaking that up, Paul, too, in this lifetime, too, that you're always in service. Now, you are always in service one way or another, but there's many different ways to do that. You can be in service by putting your energy first. The more aligned you are with your own energy, the more in service you can be. And this is something that you know intrinsically, but at the same time, actually activating that and having that work for you on a day-to-day basis has been difficult for you because there was no one around you. There's no energy in and around you that's really been able to show that. A lot of you growing up didn't really have that kind of energy to be shown what it was like to be in service, but also put yourself first. So there's been a lot of protection in and around you recently. There's a lot of clearing of bloodlines and a lot of ancestors in and around you. They're very, very proud of who you are. And they're very proud of your tender heart. You have this incredible sensitivity. And it's really important for you. And what you've done with that sensitivity, it's been absolutely incredible. You've sort of encrusted it. It's almost keep seeing this vision of sort of a golden egg. And within that egg, that yolk within is your beautiful sensitivity. Now, as we know, unless you crack an egg, it's actually, it's pretty sound, right? As Mother Nature goes, the egg is pretty complete in its form. So that protection's been there. You're almost ready to break that egg and see what happens, right? But again, never force yourself. It always comes in its own energy, in its own life form, the way that you're working with your own energy. But what this is bringing in for you specifically is this sort of moment of just breathing out the old in a very specific way and putting your energy first. Now, this is not a small thing, and this is not like, I'm just going to put myself first. I'm going to put aside a couple of hours a day, or I'm going to have a bath. I'm going to do self-care. It's not all that stuff all of that stuff is absolutely wonderful. Please do that too. It's not just that. This is an energetic level. This is a mastering level of what you're doing here. This is not a small thing. This is not like just go buy yourself a candle and light it and all will be well. Treat yourself to a candle, although please do that too. You can do it all, right? This is happening at a very deep cellular level. This is a place where you're saying, I accept every part of myself. And while doing that, what happens is your energy and your spirit is going to connect back into your body again. And you haven't had that for a while, which brings you into the sensitivity and the sensuality and this romance and ecstasy and pleasuring and knowing who you are from the inside out, which means that there's a new level of acceptance coming in for you too. Now, you've never had a problem with creativity. In fact, it's gonna sound weird saying this, but you've almost had too much creativity, because your creativity at times can overwhelm you because it can bowl you over. You have so much energy when it comes to creativity. It's sort of, some of you may have even had sort of a electricity. You can feel it sort of in your body, your energy, when the creativity comes in, but you've not been grounded enough necessarily, as electricity needs to be grounded. Your energy and your spirit's not been completely in your body. So when the creativities come in, it's not grounded into effect. So whatever you've been doing has not really taken off in the way that you've wanted to. But we want you to be very clear about this, Paltu. It's not because you're not insanely talented. You are. It's just that it's a matter of being in your own body and reflecting that in your energy. Now, this is something, again, that you've been working on, but there's extra protection around you right now as this is happening for you. Now, this new moon that's going to be surrounding this Lionsgate portal that comes in for you opens up. It's almost like you have this house that has an extraordinary amount of windows. Why, we don't know. The house is beautiful. It has so many windows. And you're opening up every window, which means every window is an avenue of creativity. And all of this is opening up for you. It's almost like normally how it's happened for you when you're working on a project. A couple windows will be open and you'll explore all of that. And then, when you finished with a project, the door closes and another window opens, that sort of thing. But this is completely different. This is a completely different level of creativity. This is like every window in this house is going to be open at the same time, which means that every direction you look, you're going to feel this creativity. And again, you're insanely talented. You'll be able to move in any direction. Now, we're not suggesting that everything you touch you're going to be brilliant at, because if we told you that and you weren't, then you would be like, I'm not going to pursue this. But that's not true. We want you to pursue all of it, even though you may not be brilliant at absolutely everything, because there's different mediums that you'll be working in. For some of you, it's the way in which you catch the world around you. And for some of you, it will be songwriting. For some of you, it will be writing. And for some of you, it really is film or photography in that way, and bringing it in like mixed media stuff, however it is that you do it. So whatever medium you currently work in, you might be moving that to a different medium right now. So all of these ideas that are coming up for you, allow them to come in and sort of cement in the way that they want to, right? Don't try and manufacture them in a way where, I want to work with photography, but I really don't know much about photography, so maybe I'll just stick with painting. Allow it all in. You have no idea. And for some of you, just picking up that camera, you'll just have the eye. But again, if you don't, tweak with it. Just the way in which you work with instruments or your instrument might be a little bit different to everybody else. The way in which you play will be a little bit different. The way in which you use the camera will be a little bit different. So for some of you, going back to school and learning the technicalities may not be necessary, because you're going to be sort of working outside the systems of that. So just take creativity to the lengths that it wants you to go to in this portal. It's going to bring you these incredible results. And again, really allowing yourself into that creative mode, really coming back to a sense of center. Now, we haven't even got into your tarot yet. Let's do that. It's exciting. So as we turned it over, the Six of Wands came up. There is an essence of celebration, of celebrating who you are and also your achievements. Now, when we say achievements, we don't necessarily mean everything that you've achieved in the external world. Who gives a shite about that, really? I mean, if you have, that's wonderful too, so I guess we should we shouldn't really say that. But at the same time, it's not really about that. It's about the energy that you've shown up with, the kind of person that you've become, has a lot of in integrity and beauty, which of course comes across in your work so beautifully. Death, absolutely gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. That just says to us, whatever's coming in for you, it's brand new. It's absolutely brand new, and you will not, and you won't want to, but you won't be going back to the old way of doing things. So this joy, this wildness that you do have, but you also have this way of sort of taming your wildness down sometimes, especially when you feel as though you might be judged for it. Now, you're used to being judged, right? Everybody is. Everybody judges each other one way or another, but it's not the judgment that you fear necessarily or that you don't want. It's the attention. You've always wanted to sort of go a little bit under the radar, because that's the way you're able to do what you want to do, because the way in which you work, it's not sort of not normal, but you do things a little bit differently. I keep seeing a crab walking. It doesn't walk straight. It walks in. It walks to the side and does its own way. It carries its, its home on its back. It looks a little bit weird. People are freaked out by them, and you're aware of that. But something is shifting in you where you're like, no, I'm not sort of, it equates to sort of dumbing yourself down a little bit, but you're not doing that anymore. And you're allowing that joy to really sort of seep out a little bit. And then as it seeps out, and then you realize, this is beautiful, and just really coming into a sense of yourself, and not really looking over your shoulder to see who's witnessing this. Do I need to tone it down? And this is something that you've done before. So coming into a real sense of self. And this means like a new level of authenticity, which means a new level of creativity, which means a new level of being where you want to be and being seen and being noticed. Now, when you want to turn it on, you've done this with your energy before, and you can absolutely test this if you want to. When you want to turn your energy on and put it out there, people notice you. But when you want to shut down, you can absolutely go unnoticed too. This is something that you've absolutely noticed about your energy. So that beautiful sun, which is coming in with that Leo energy too, you are in this right state of mind where you're like, I'm not dumbing myself down anymore, and I'm not going to make myself small. Now, this may not be for every single one of you, but for some of you growing up, you had this incredible amount of creativity and energy, this incredible amount of energy, but you were told to sort of subdue it. You're too much for people. We don't act like that here. Tone it down, tone it down. You kept getting these messages of toning it down. So you sort of did that because you noticed that other people were uncomfortable. And there's a beautiful energy about you where you genuinely don't want people to be uncomfortable. And if there's any essence of thinking that you're the one that caused that, then you are the one that's going to refrain from being how you were, for them to sort of shut you down. So if that makes sense. So what it is that you've been shutting yourself down because people have been, overwhelmed by your energy, but you're not doing that anymore. And there was nothing wrong with your energy. It's not like you were too much or you were this, that, and the other. You were sort of just right. And the people who were like trying to tone you down, they weren't used to that level of creativity. They weren't used to that energy at all. And it did make them very uncomfortable because it reminded them essentially that they don't have that. They didn't have access to that, or they didn't think they had access to that. Now, some of the energy when they were trying to shut you down may have been like, the world's not going to be ready for you, kid. I'm just trying to do you a favor. It could have been a little bit like that. None of it needed to be malicious per se, but you got the message one way or another that you needed to subdue yourself. And this worked with you in a way that really shut parts of yourself down. And this is something that you knew, but it also, in some ways, and this could have been culminating with many different things that happened to you, over the years, and for each and every one of you, your story will be slightly different. But there are ways that your spirit just sort of became lighter and lighter and lighter until it wasn't really inhabiting your body again. anymore. And we mentioned this at the beginning of pile 2. So this is an energy of you coming in back into your own body. It doesn't mean that you're going to be dense, but it does mean that you're going to feel differently about yourself. You're going to feel differently about your energy. It means that you're tapping into a level of confidence that it is absolutely brand new. But to be clear, there's an energy of you that's very childlike. It's very authentic. It's very brilliant. And we meant, bright, brilliant. The rapture of you, the romance, the ecstasy. And, we're not going to tell you that this is still not going to piss people off. It will, right? But you're not at that point where you're going to dumb yourself down at any point and any time. And this is something that even if somebody tried to contain you at this point, they wouldn't be able to do, as in the past they would have been able to do, and they did do it. But this is about you being there for yourself. And this is something that's been a long time coming now, but this is something, it's sort of a point of coming into your port, as it were, as this portal comes in. You are absolutely protected in this energy coming in, this new level of authenticity in this very specific way. Allow this creativity to really sort of be this beacon of hope and of beauty for you to go in any different direction. This level of creativity is why you are here. You're here to create. You are creators. Each and every one of you does something a little bit different, but it's just brilliant no matter what you do. And again, the energy has not been in flux. It's been in flux. It's not been in flow because you've not been completely in your own energy, in your own body yet. But this energy of coming in, and again, this energy of sort of self-sacrifice, of being in service. Again, a little bit crossing over with pile 1, ever so slightly, completely different energy, completely different reading. So we want you to take that time, right, to breathe out the old in a very specific way, to be able to look over that old person that you were. And again, it is, when you look back on versions of yourself, it's almost like you don't work. I can't believe that I was that person. I can't believe that I did that. Your energy, the way in which you look. If you look back on, I know everybody's face changes, right? But if you look back on, for a lot of you, the way in which you look before, you will actually look very, very different. Like there's a way that your energy is shifting absolutely everything, including the way that you show up for yourself, your authenticity, the way in which you look, absolutely everything. So this is all about bringing it back to you, but again, in a very simple way, in that loving way, in that creative way. I want to pull just a couple more cards for you. What else do you need to know? It feels as though we're not quite done yet. But this is a beautiful gift for you, and it's solidifying because this is work that you've been doing on yourself one way or another. You've been there for yourself. You've got that King of Wands moving forward. Again, that passion, of that creativity coming in. It's all moving forward for you, and you've got the moon. Love that. You've got the sun and the moon. This is all about balance. This is all about honoring the mysticism, all about honoring that part of yourself too, that never really got lost when there was essences of you shutting aspects of yourself down in order to survive. That the mystical part of yourself never got lost, but now the mystical part of yourself can really meld with the creativity, and it produces this incredible powerhouse that you have. Now you're very aware of how powerful you are. For some of you, you've been a little afraid of your own power, so you had to be very, very careful about how you moved and maneuvered when you go about sort of healing yourself. And again, to be clear, healing is just about noticing the wounds that we have and what we need to release to be able to return back to ourselves. It's not suggesting that you're not whole to begin with. It's releasing the trauma that told us that we weren't whole. So to begin with, so this balance of coming into the masculine and the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but this goes deeper than that. This is about really tapping into that mysticism, which sets you apart from other people. And that aspect of yourself absolutely terrified people at times, which is another reason why you may have lay low. But now you're not doing this anymore. And it's not even a case of, I don't care about anybody else's feelings, F them, I'm going to do whatever I want. There's a sweetness to you. There's nothing about that. It's like, I'm going to show up the way in which I want to show up. And if people can't handle it, well, then that's just the way it is. But I'm not going to dumb myself down anymore. When you walk into a room, you're going to change the energy. You're not going to shift the energy based on the prominent energy of that room, which could be, high frequency, it could be low frequency. And and allowing yourself that low time to be able to rise to that high time too. We don't always have to be in high frequency. We just don't. The way in which we deal with things is slightly different. We have a myriad of different ways that we can see these negativities that come into our lives, and they will do. Not everything is going to be absolutely perfect, but at the same time we can honor the lows too, and that's something that you've been doing. But we want you to honor the highs because those are coming in. So this is what we have for you, Pal 2, this incredible amount of beauty and balance and, excuse me, whoo, excuse me, and sneezing. Incredible amount of divine masculine and divine feminine power, energy, and balance coming in through your creativity, opening up. Remember, you've got an immense amount of protection coming in, a beautiful amount of sensuality and love and devotion to yourself, and really honoring your journey and what you've been through. Remember, as you look back, honor all aspects of yourself, everything that you've been through. But also make a little, we always say, especially in spirituality, we have the, whatever doesn't kill us, make us stronger. Sure, that's true. But at the same time, we can say to ourselves, in our authenticity, and this is exactly where you're at, in our authenticity, I don't need to go through that hell anymore in order to gain those results. I don't need to do any of that. Again, when the lows come, you will deal with them. But now you're working with this energy of protection and creativity where you're like, I'm accepting all the high offers from the universe. This is what I'm doing. Let's go bold. Let's do this. We don't need to create from darkness anymore. You've already done that. You can create from the light. And this is a new stepping into your authenticity that's going to bring you into so many different creative projects and so much beauty, and also bring in aspects of soul family who are working on this too. So done with the fragmentation and moving into a really solidified version of self that's just been a long time coming and absolutely beautiful. So we're sending you so much love and beauty for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you, Pal 2. Don't forget to check out the first complete season of the Unicorn Light podcast. Details below. The last one just went up, The Art of Healing. There's something for everyone in each and every one. I think there's 17 episodes or something like that. So check that out if you feel called to. And until we meet again, Pal 2, you take care. Bye-bye. Okay, beautiful Pile 3s. If you chose this pile and this image, this reading is for you. And again, we're coming into finding out the activations and the magic, the energy that surrounds you, coming into this portal of 8-8, the Lionsgate portal that will be coming in on the new moon 2 in Leo, the 8th of August. So let's start off with your first message, which is, I have a balanced relationship with time. I use time well. So that's incredible. We'll start that. We're also going to be starting with Oracle and moving on to Tarot. Let's see what your messages are today. Your first card is Illumination. Beautiful. Let's check in. Let's make sure that's in focus. And then you've got psychedelic, baby. 25, Wisdom from the Fairy Folk. Beautiful. Then you've got the Reunion, Soul Recognition, Collaboration, Partnership, and Friendship. Gorgeousness. And then you have a Personal Issues Reaches Resolution, Full Moon in Cancer. And then you have Mystery. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So here, this is something that you're coming into, Pile 3. There is each and every one of you will be slightly different with this energy, of course, because you're all completely different people. Even though we are connected, we all come in with unique gifts and energy, and that should be honored too. So this is Mystery, even though we have the light here. Let's see if that's going to give us a little bit of, no, okay, if we move it back here. All right, so the energy that's coming in, so there seems to be a theme, which of course we're not surprised about. There's an essence of coming back to oneself, but it's very, very specific for each and every one of you, for Pile 1 and 2 and 3. For you, there's a reunion with not yourself necessarily. You've been working on yourself. This is a reunion with your magic. This is a reunion with your energy. This is reunion with how you view time. A lot of you have been figuring that you've been running out of it, or you don't really know. I mean, the sense of time that we have on Earth, and of course, we do live in the 3D world. You can bring in 5D energy, and that's wonderful. You can make the 3D world a beautiful place, but we've come here to have a human experience. So the way in which you use time and pockets of time, and that is shifting. And that is not a small thing, right? It's not a small thing to be able to shift time or to bend time, because once you take your energy, and this has been a little bit difficult to articulate, all three of these readings, pile 1, 2, and now 3, of course, because they're sort of psychological readings. So we hope that this is somewhat clear. But the way in which you connect with the essence of time and how you utilize it and how you see it really shifts the energy around it. And then you become sort of a time bender in a way. And that's very illuminating for you in that sense. But it also, it means that you can shift timelines, you can change things up. And you're very aware of timelines. For some of you, you can start on a timeline, get a sense of it, see if you want to stay on it, and then you can shift. You've been able to do this, especially very recently, and there's just this energy of you that goes off in different directions, many different directions. So it's been difficult for you to figure out what you want. And some of you have been, have even thought to yourself that maybe I'm stuck, or I feel a little bit stagnant, even though that's not quite the right way to describe exactly what you're going through, and you know that, but it's the closest that you can get to. Now, you're not stuck or stagnant. It's just that your energy is moving in so many different directions that you're trying to figure things out. You're really harnessing this new energy of sort of time bending, that there isn't anything that's come to you right now that you wanted to choose. Now, this is a good thing. This is a really good thing. In the past, you would have been like, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to choose that. Right? Nothing wrong with doing any of that. Nothing wrong with any of the way that you've ever behaved. It's all been perfect. But, it's taken you to results that have been sort of Blasville before. And now you just again, you don't want to waste your time. But it's not coming from this essence of, all right, I don't want to waste my time because, I don't have enough time. It's just that where you put your energy is precious now. So this is all coming in for you, and it's all solidifying around this new moon and this portal coming in on the 8th and the 8th of the 8th. So it also means the way in which you manifest will be completely different. Now, there's a million different ways to manifest. There's not one way to do it. It's all about frequency, though. So however you can work with your frequency, that's all about surrendering to the process and bringing this energy in. Now, when you're on that route, you can feel, and you can do this with people, you can feel people's energy, where you can actually take in the energy of the person and feel every part of them. You can feel the energy of what they've been through, who they are, what they're capable of. This is something that's really protected you in many different ways, where other people were taken in by something or someone that was seemingly on the outset would, charming and this, that, and the other. You can take in that energy and see that they would have been capable of something else. And then you've backed off from it, right? Backed off from that energy. So you've always been able to do this in and around people, or in and around, but you've never done it with situations before. So, and you've done it in and around people, and this is something that you've had to work through and then get rid of that icky energy of that person, and it's been a little bit of an entanglement, but you figured out how to do that, where somebody else's energy starts and you begin, or you end and they begin, all of that other stuff. But that's not about this. This is about utilizing that energy for timelines, utilizing that energy of what it is that you want. You're in a position to be able to put yourself on a timeline and look through it to see if that's really what you want. And the universe is giving you the opportunity to do that. You say that you want children. Is this really what, just giving you an example. Put yourself on that energy. Is this really what you want? So everything's up for grabs for you, pile 3. This is a really exciting time for you. And you're going to differentiate what it is that society has told you that you want versus what it is that you truly do want. And this is not a small thing, because it means that you can lead the kind of life that comes straight from your heart. absolutely brilliant. All of these things that you've done. Now, that's not to say that, in the past you've chosen things and decided that you didn't want things and you've made things work and they've been brilliant. All those experiences are wonderful. But this is a way that you can work with the energy of time very differently. And it's not about wasting time or not wasting time. Just because things didn't work out didn't mean, not at all, that anything's wasted. But now you're at that time where you don't want to constantly be going through and learning the same things. You've really come to this culmination process where you've learned everything you need to at this point. You'll always be researching. You'll always be learning. We're never arrived, right? We're not arriving anywhere. There's always more to grow. But you do get to a plateau. You do get to a point, and you've gotten to that point that you don't need to receive the same lessons from the universe anymore. You don't need to be seeking them out. So there's an energy of you that sometimes wants to go into the same familiar patterns because they are familiar. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's always energy and new things that come in. But it has the same layering, the same foundation of the same patterns. And you're sensing that within yourself. And now you're saying, all right, universe, I'm going to do something brand new. I'm actually bringing in new energy. I'm actually going to take a path I haven't taken before. I'm going to have the universe behind me. I'm going to be illuminated to be able to do that. And it's a new path. All of these are new paths. They're brand new. You've not cultivated them before. You have an insane amount of magic with you to be able to do that. And an insane amount of collaboration to be able to do this. Not just with the universe and your guides, who of course, and your ancestors, who of course are saying, we've got your back, but people around you who may not quite understand what it is that you're doing. And we're not suggesting that you sit them down and talk through every nuance of what it is that you're doing. They don't need to understand that, but love you for exactly who you are and support you for whoever you are. And you've taken a really long time to come in and around that energy, whether they're physically around you or whether you have an online community, whatever it is, you are in a position now to be able to do this. And it's very, very exciting. It's very exciting. Now, let's get you some more cards here. Let's go into some tarot and get you some more energy of what this is. And it seems weird to say time bending, right? Because it sounds a little science fiction-y, but it really isn't. And it's something that you're absolutely able to do. And again, you've been doing it in many different ways on a personal note, from person to person, energy-wise. And when we say that about empaths can do that. It doesn't seem so weird. But at the same time, this is the same kind of energy, but you're just doing this around the essence of time. Why is that weird? It isn't weird, right? So you've got the Seven of Wands, but you're taking this out more for a new test drive, and you've got the Hanged One. Okay, so you've been in this energy and you've got the King of Pentacles. So it's all about this action. Now, again, you've been teetering around this point of whether you realize it or not, and you've realized it to a certain degree. So there may be some aha moments in this reading, but you've realized it. None of this is like brand new to you, and that's what readings are. None of it should be brand new to you, really. But it's just an essence of how you're going to work with that energy. Am I ready to be able to do this? You do know that you can sort of time bend and check in on what it is that you want and try things on. And sometimes that means that, you don't always go down that route, because you can try things on and say, oh yeah, I don't know if I really do want this. So it can go in many different directions. So it's all about the illumination, the mystery, definitely, but it's all about coming into a sense of collaboration and renewal, the reunion here with yourself. Now, when you trust yourself and you know what it is that you want, then you know what is right for you completely and totally. So even though you're trying on this sort of time-bending thing, you haven't really come into this idea of this understanding of, I'm going to choose this route, I'm going to choose this, I'm going to choose that yet. This is what this portal is coming in to solidify for you. So you've been sort of like battling with yourself a little bit about what route that you're going to take, because you can see it all. It's not like you see it completely clearly. This is how it's going to end. That's not it. You get an inkling. You get you get the sensitivity. You get an energy of whether this is going to be significant for you, whether this is what you need. But at the same time, you've been in this sort of holding pattern of waiting for that sort of this ecstatic reaction before you move forward. So this is all coming into this energy where you get to choose, where you get to really solidify and really come back to a sense of self. And when that happens, your heart opens, and then you really understand who it is that you are. And that collaboration with yourself, with this ability to be able to sort of time bend and try on these different timelines, will lead you to choose what it is that you want. You're going to be choosing a timeline here. And you're going to be choosing a timeline that's right for you, that you're owed. And when we say you're owed, nobody's owed anything, obviously. But you put in the energy and the time, and you're here. It's part of your not path necessarily, but your blueprint. But also the other thing that we want to point out for you, Pal 3, and we don't know if you're aware of this, but there's an essence of your blueprint that you're rewriting. Some of it you've come down, you're already in line to get what it is that you want, but you're also rewriting some of the blueprint of who you are and what you're here to do, because you've decided you're going to do everything, you're going to do it slightly differently. There's a lot that's been set up for you. And of course you have you have free will. Everybody has free will. Earth is a free will zone. You can walk away from anything and anyone at any time. Of course you can. Whether you want to or not is completely and totally up to you, as it should be. But you're rewriting some of your sort of plans for yourself and your blueprint, which of course you can do. Some of it's a little bit more set for other people. But again, that's the way that they've wanted it, right? It's not set because it needs to be set. It's set because, you set up yourself before you came onto this earth to decide what you wanted to do. And then you have these certain paths and you're going to take them. You've decided that part of that is great. You're not throwing out everything and starting again. So don't worry about it. You've got this firm foundation. And of course, everything that you're set up in the blueprint to do, all of the gifts that you have to set you up to be able to do that, you're going to utilize. You're not walking away from that. But at the same time, you're reinventing some of it. You're moving it further. What if I did this though? What if I did this? So that's why you're here. And that's why, things have been, again, this happened in Pal 2 a little bit. Things aren't stagnant for you necessarily, but you're trying to wait for the right situation to come up. And again, you can make the right situation, but that subtlety and difference of that energy, knowing what you know and how you utilize your energy for that time shifting, is going to come in with the reunion of self. Once you really come into that energy, then it's going to be very easy for you to go, yes, yes, nope, 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 don't want that, do want that, don't want that. And that's something that you've not really had before. And the energy, you're very, that you have this energy and this beauty to be able to do that. And again, you've utilized it in many different ways, but to be able to really get behind it 100% and use it in its totality, in its power, the way that you can to shift and change your life hasn't really come about yet, but it doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to be able to do that. So this is what's coming in for you in this portal. It's not a small thing, right? It's huge. And that's why, this gift had to be opened very, very slowly over time, incrementally figuring out there's other things that you needed to do and clear out to be able to see and to be able to do that. And then again, you shifted, you were able to do that one-on-one and even in groups of people to be able to do it with people's energy before you started working with the time stuff. Although some of you in childhood may have been able to sort of go into different realities and this, that, and the other and come back. So you may have been aware that you were able to do that. But this is something that you've sort of been working on. And again, because you're creating your own blueprint, you didn't necessarily know how you were going to utilize it, if you were going to utilize it to the degree that you're going to in this lifetime. And that is free will. That is totally up to you. But there's action required on your part. And you're ready to be able to take that action. And there was ironically, we're talking about time, there's a timing element to this too. Because it requires a lot of power, a lot of ingenuity, a lot of beauty, a lot of courage. Courage you have. But there was there was a portal. The energy of this portal is something that can really push you through this. And and it's normally we wouldn't say, push you through, pushing is good. For you, pushing is good because it's like a birthing process. So it's going to be coming out, and then whatever comes out will be you. And that mystery and that beauty. And of course, it'll be you times sort of 50, whatever it is that you were before. So it's an incredible time sort of to be alive. Incredible time for you to be doing this. And again, it requires the action of you showing up. Let's get you a couple more cards. But again, it's all in, if you want to focus on anything, focus about the reunion of soul, coming back and creating that really firm foundation for yourself, and that worthiness, that sense of I'm ready for something to happen. A lot of you have been teetering on the side of this, knowing that something is going to happen, but also you've got the Queen of Cups again, what you've been learning with your own emotionality and learning of how you do this and how you work with this energy and how you've worked with it before. Now you've got the Tower card there. So there's an element of, with the Seven of Wands, there's this element of, of fear, of course, this sudden movement. If I do this, then something is going to go wrong and everything's going to fall down. And for some of you, you've known that you've had this energy before and this power, but you've been working with it in such a way that it's how do we say it? You've been working with it in such a way that you've been holding it back a little bit, so it feels as though it's huge. And if you take this energy upon yourself, everything's going to fall apart. Now, that in essence is true. But it's all perception. It's going to fall apart because if you're holding on to the old, then it's going to feel as though everything's falling apart. So this is why the divine timing for this is really, really important. None of you need to have this tower moment. It's not there. It's about you fighting it and feeling as though it's a tower moment. Now, most of you coming into this energy are already at the Queen of Cups energy and already at this, like, I'm ready to take the leap. And again, coming back to that reunion of self, it doesn't need to be a tower moment in any way, shape, or form. So you've got the strength to be able to do this, but it's a choice. You don't need to do this. This is extra. This is so extra for what it is that you're here to do. You don't need to take this leap if you don't want to, but it is available for you. Around this portal. It is available for you to be able to utilize that illumination and that mystery and that beauty that you have to be able to really cultivate a life that you want. Now, there's many different ways that you can do this. You don't have to take that leap into the sort of the time-bending element of stuff. You really, really don't. But if you do, remind yourself that you have an excellent balanced relationship with time regardless, and you're going to have a beautiful life regardless of what you do. You don't need to fight this, and you don't need to compare it to the old. We promise you, anytime you compare this energy of what you're moving into, it's not going to make sense. That's going to lead your practical mind down into the tower moment. That's perfectly natural, but it isn't a real tower moment. It's just you fighting yourself. Go be you, do whatever you need to do. Now, there's an element, as we pick this up, you've got the Fool here. So you're ready for that brand new beginning. With the Hanged One, you can take yourself down at any time, and you're ready for this brand new beginning. And this really is new. This is new. You've never been here before. You cannot possibly comprehend how powerful this is in many ways, which is a brilliant, beautiful thing. It also means that you cannot compare it in any way. And the minute you do, you're going to see it as a tower moment. Now, not all of you are in that mentality of the tower moment, and that's fine. And if you are, and it just comes up for a second, breathe through it. You're fine. Take the time you need to support yourself so it doesn't feel like a tower moment. You don't have to do this quickly. This is all coming in for you at this time. You are surrounded by all the protection that you absolutely need, and you can do this any way that you want to. But this portal is available for you to be able to choose in a different way and really utilize the magic that you have in a brand new way that's sort of out of this world in a way, right? So go be you, have a blast, allow that energy of the fairy folk wisdom, that joy, that light, that beauty to come in and around you, and make this process just a glorious one, right? Absolutely glorious. And sending you so much love and light and beauty for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Remember, you are strong, you are beautiful. You've been doing this so many different ways and nuanced in many different ways how you've been working with other people's energies. You're just applying this to the essence of time. So you know how to do this. So it's not really a big deal when you think about it, right? So no need to blow it out of proportion. But if you do, that's okay too. You're going to bring yourself back. You're going to enjoy where you are. You're going to allow yourself those highs and lows, and it's okay to get freaked out every now and again, but know that you are absolutely protected and you're in this brand new energy anyway. And you've been working through this and working up to this your entire life. You're absolutely well able for it. You wouldn't be able to do it if you couldn't do it. So you've absolutely got this. Now, don't forget, Pal 3, we have the Unicorn School of, well, we do have the Unicorn School of Light. That will be down below before. We have the Unicorn Light podcast. The complete first season is down below. Just uploaded the very last in the season, The Art of Healing. I think there's 17 or 18 episodes. I don't quite remember now. Feel free to check them out. Cherry pick which ones feel great for you, or start from episode 1 all the way up. There's some more support and beauty for you. If you have not checked it out, the link will be down below. Until we meet again, have a wonderful, wonderful portal of light, Pal 3. Take care. Bye-bye.